And let's talk about some of these problems on here and see if we can maybe decipher. So it was page 17. A couple of you still haven't figured out that page 18 has nothing on it. So you're like, where's the problems? It's blank.
Were they in this portion?
They were, yes. We just left the blank page.
Can you do A through N?
I sure can. That's all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's make sure you're good on it. Is that cool?
Yeah, actually, like I was doing this and I was questioning my mental capacity.
Okay.
That is body language. Please do not use body language.
I didn't get it.
Who's that? Devin.
Okay, so
What's the last name? You'll hear it
Sophia.
right around spring break. Devin. It's a good silly story. All right.
Oh, look, Anakin.
It's- all right. Ready? I see there's an awful lot of phones out there, including mine. Will someone please put mine over there? Ready? Thank you. Anyone else put yours back there, and let's have homework out, please.
Okay, let's go through A.
You got it. I'm doing it. I'm in.
We can wait like 30 minutes.
And could somebody flip the light switch down for us, please? All right. Thank you. All right, letter A, they just have this. Absolute value of 7. So what's the answer to that?
7.
Good. B, we have absolute value of negative 17, so that has an answer of just 17. C has, it's 16, so absolute value of 16 is 16. Subtract absolute value of negative 16. 16, so then I get 0. Agree? Is that okay?
Wait, how? So if there's a negative, so if it was just 16 minus 16, would it still be 0?
It would still be 0. Because that second thing that has this, so I think the original problem looks like this. 16 minus negative 16.
Yeah.
So it's that. So this comes straight down to here. And this comes to here, but then the subtraction sign comes in. So that's what makes it. All right. What'd I do? What? Which one? This one? This one? Because it's the absolute value, and the absolute value is just the distance from 0. So it's gone. Okay? All right. Letter D. That's absolute value of, what is that, negative 36 over 9? So it's going to come out, if I reduce it to this, and then the absolute value of negative 4 has to be just 4. Is that okay? We're okay on those 4? Love it. Is it okay to move on? All right. Letter E. Now we're starting to solve it. So I have the absolute value of x is equal to 7. Okay? That gives us 2 answers. We have this as our first one, and then this is our second one. Because remember, the absolute value is the distance from 0. So this is 7 from 0, and this is also 7 from 0. So we have 2 answers there. Letter F. Letter F says absolute value of B is equal to negative 19. So here's a question. Can I be a negative distance away from something?
No.
Just, it doesn't make sense. So this problem has what for a solution? Yeah, there's no solution. Okay? You can't do it. I can't plug a number in for B, take the absolute value of it, and get a negative answer out. Right? Can I move on?
Yes.
Letter A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All right, so I'm going to get W minus 4 is equal to 11. Okay, how many problems will this make?
2.
Make 2, absolutely. So I'm going to have W minus 4 equals 11. There's my first equation. And then I get W minus 4 equals what? Negative 11. All right, add 4 to both sides here. plus 4 plus 4. That looks like it's going to be 15. Is that okay? And then this one, add 4, add 4. So that's going to give me -7, I believe. That's a 7, supposed to be at least. Okay, so how do we do that? Something costs $11. I have $4. I still owe $7. Okay? We doing okay so far?
Yes.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. H. It's 24. Okay. The negative can definitely happen on this one. It's when I have the negative right here that we have to worry. But we don't have that here. So I have two problems. I have -8e equals 24. And then I also have -8e equals -24. So I put two opposite signs. How am I going to undo to get e by itself? There you go. Divide each side by -8. And so e is going to equal -3. Let's see, -8. Excuse me. -8. And that's negative over negative, so my answer's got to be what? Perfect. There's my two answers. That one totally works. Can I move on? Letter I get 2, and that's a q, right? 2q plus 5 is equal to 17, right? All right, this one's still going to work. We're going to have two different answers. So 2q plus 5 is equal to 17. And what's my other problem? Good, awesome. All right, so subtract 5 from both sides. Notice I started getting away with putting the dotted line down, but we're still fine. And then divide each side by 2. So I get 12 over 2, which is 6. There's one answer. And this one, same thing. Subtract 5, subtract 5. -17 minus 5. I go into a store. I have no money. I see something that costs 17. I see something that costs 5. We're not going to steal it this time. But we realize, hey, we would owe $22. Is that all right? Divide each side by 2. So I get -11. J. Letter J. 6. And then absolute value of 5. P plus 4. Ah, I got a kink in my back. Equals -16. Oh, sorry. I goofed up. -16 equals 20. All right. I'm not going to do the absolute value yet. What am I going to do first? Good. Add 16. I love it. So add 16, add 16. Concerns me, I have people saying I didn't understand this, but yet they're just sitting at their seat talking. So I already gave you all a warning. These 6 people right here, find a different place in this classroom to sit, and that's your new seat, and it's not there.
Am I part of the 6? Can you count?
I'll let you figure that one out. You got 30 seconds to find a new seat. If you can't find a new seat, then you can go sit in your dean's office. I have 2 seats open right here. Freddie, don't let them bug you, okay?
Can I do something if they do?
What are you going to do?
You'll find out.
Am I going to get hurt?
Maybe.
Sweet. Then do it. All right. So we have this. Thank you, gents. So I'm adding 16 to both sides, so I come up with that. What should I do next? Divide by 6. Good. Good job, Joy. So this is going to cancel. And that leaves me this. I still have the absolute value sign. So now, what can I do?
Make the two equations.
Thank you. Awesome. Make the two equations. So I get 5p plus 4 equals 6. 5p plus 4 equals negative 6. Okay? So subtract 4 on this first one, so that gives me 5p equals 2. Divide by 5, so I get p equals 2 over 5. Second one, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, so I get 5p equals negative 10. So I find out that p equals negative 2. There's my two answers.
Wait, what's the other answer? P equals -2 and then P.
2 over 5. You see it now? I moved it up. All right. We are doing letter K. All right. Letter K, I have, I can see where confusion would take place on that because I have a variable on both sides. Agree? So I'm going to break this into two parts. We good? I'd probably say let's subtract c from both sides here. Divide each side by 6. C equals negative 24, or negative 4, excuse me. Negative 4. Okay, so there's the first one. Second one, same thing. Subtract c from both sides. So negative 24 equals negative 8c. Divide each side by negative 8. Negative over negative is positive, so I wind up with c is equal to 3. There's my two answers. Letter L and letter M are done the exact same way. I think you can handle it. And then letter N says, during last year's volleyball season, the coach concluded that the number of points scored each game could be written by an equation, absolute value of x minus 7 equals 2. How many points were scored in each game? I guess you could say 9, right? Yeah, I think 9 would work. The other one would give you can't have negative scores, so that one won't work. So what does the thing spell out now? Let's see what? Oh, what up on top? What does it say? Did you hear about the 2 ducks in a race? What did it spell out to be? Or did we look in the back and find the answer? This. Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Really?
Dude, I could have just copied it down and then just gotten credit for it, and then when I got my quiz, I could do nothing. Yeah. Let's see. I guess I don't have the answers to number 9. Too bad. All right, make sure your name is on those. Pass those forward, please. All right.
Christopher Stirrup.
That's
Can I
me.
call you by your first name? Stirrup?
Okay.
Mr. Stirrup. I'm gonna call you Christopher.
Christopher? Okay.
We all call you Chris.
Sure.
Okay.
What's up, Chris?
What's up, Chris?
Do not call me that.
All right.
It's not a new thing.
All right, solving literal equations. You all have been working with literal equations for a long time. you've used it for like area of a rectangle is length times width. The literal equation is A equals L times W. You might have found the area of a circle using area equals pi r squared. Those are all literal equations. So the first one we're going to talk about is we have this. Let's see if we can decipher this. So I know circle added to another circle gives me a star. Okay. And I know that a circle, okay, so let's see. And I know that a circle times a square gives me a star. So I'm going to say that circle is equal to star divided by square. How did I do that?
By looking at the shapes.
Yeah, so these are being multiplied together. So if you divide both sides by, so if I go circle times square equals this. If I divide both sides by square, square cancels out. And that leaves me circle equals star over square.
That is very confusing.
Then I should just give up and quit because things are too confusing, or should we keep going?
Give up.
Because you're at the wrong place if you want to give up, man. I ain't here to give up. I'm going to persevere through this.
Define perseverance.
I'm going to keep going and going and going. But come to English class and we'll define it over there. Tell me what your English teacher says off it, would you? All right. Last one. So I know that square plus square plus square would be equal to 3 square. What do you think? And that's equal to star.
I think they're 1.5.
What? So star is equal to 3 square. So now, how can we figure out what square is equal to? Well, we can figure out what square is equal to by doing this. How are 3 and square being held together right here? So I'm going to divide. If I divide both sides by
Square.
no, I want to know what square is equal to. What? I have a 3 and I have a box. If I divide both sides by a 3, what do I find that box is equal to?
Box. This box. 3 divided by 3.
I'm trying to figure out what you're saying.
You says 3 divided by 3 box.
All right, I have this.
I think it's just 1 box. I'm confused.
Okay. So we're focusing in right here. Is this okay? So how are 3 and square being held together?
Multiplication.
We good? Because we just said that's what this is equal to, agreed? And how did we get there? Well, I had 1, 2, 3. If I add them together, how many squares do I have? 3. Right? And then I'm just going to try and figure out. I have star equals 3 times square. I want to know what square is equal, and I'm going to try and decipher that from here. So 3 times square equals star. So square has to equal what?
Star.
Divided by?
Square.
3
Circle.
square.
Circle.
I got it right. Star divided by 3. Let's go.
Star divided by 3.
Oh my gosh.
Okay? Alright. So we got silly shapes. I don't know. Is there numeric values that are any of these are worth?
No.
I'll take it. Thanks, bud. So I don't have a number. I know what these are, right? Let's move on. Oops, hang on. Doing the flip around. All right. So this is a different problem. So we're not worried about what star was equal to before. So I have, how do you think these are being held together mathematically? Multiplication. And then I have an addition sign, and then I have a cloud, and it's equal to the heart. And we want to solve for our smiley face. So if I subtract my cloud, that's supposed to be a cloud, from both sides of the equal sign. Okay? So then I'm going to get star, smiley face. It's supposed to be a smiley face. Sorry, I'm not an artist. Is equal to heart minus cloud. How do I get smiley face alone? You just told me star and smiley face are held together how? Multiplication. So what does multiplication? So I'm going to divide star here, divide that by star. So those cancel. So this will tell us that smiley face, if I can draw one, is equal to the heart. Pretend that's a heart. Subtracting the cloud. So we're just using little visual clues. I mean, is this real math we're doing? Well, I mean, we're using add, subtract, multiply, and divide, so yes, it is. What is a variable? A variable is a letter or a symbol used to represent a quantity. This is a what?
This is like kindergarten meets high school.
Hey. Sorry I'm offending you with kindergarten. We should probably have nap time then.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so
Yes.
All right, again, we're looking at this. So what am I trying to solve for? I'm trying to solve for this sign right here. Agreed?
Agreed. You distribute.
Okay? So I could distribute the sun over the parentheses. You're totally right. Okay? But is there a step I could do other than that?
Yes.
What do you think? What can I
Why?
divide both sides by right now to get rid, move something over?
Stop sign?
No.
The sun thing?
Yeah.
Whatever that sun thing is. That's supposed to be that.
Flower.
I'm doing the best I can, sorry. So I can divide by that, so that's going to cancel that. If that cancels, I get this Pac-Man looking thing,
Pac-Man
minus the no thing, equals this diamond shape, or the square on its side, divided by this sun looking thing. Holy moly, so I want this by itself. Subtract Pac-Man. Subtract Pac-Man. And then, last thing, this is stupid, I'm sorry. Plus, minus, there. There you go. That's what it's equal to. And I'm kind of done with the symbols.
Oh,
All right, let's get back up to, no, I'm moving, I'm leaving that, I'm going here. All right. So, problem number one are all these problems. I want to solve for y. I want to get y all by itself. So this first problem, how can I get y all by itself?
Divide. You did.
I want y though. So I have 2x added to y.
We're solving for one.
We're solving for y. How do I bring the 2x over?
Divide.
It's not divided, I can subtract it. Right? So this is going to cancel, so I get y is equal to negative 2x, and that's a positive 24. Done. Okay?
That's a nice 24.
Yeah. It's slowing down on me, I apologize. Alright, so let's try number 2. What letter do I want to solve for? Y. Y. I want the y. So I want that alone. So how can I move this 3x over to the other side?
Divide?
I heard it. Someone who said it.
Subtract.
Subtract it.
I said that.
Alright. So I'm going to cancel those. I have 1/2 times y equals to negative 3x plus 6. So what should I do? How can I do 1/2? Do it? What? Multiply by. So this is the. So I'm going to put this up here. 1/2 y is the same thing as y over 2. So what should I do to move that over? Multiply by what?
By 1/2.
If I multiply by 1/2, that becomes 1/4. So what's the flip over 1/2?
2.
2 over 1 or just 2? Okay. So this is going to cancel here and here. So your y is equal to, I guess I could distribute, negative 6x plus 12. Okay, number 3, we have an equation. F equals m times a. This is used in science. This is force equals mass times acceleration. A lot of times your acceleration, you're using the acceleration due to gravity. Gravity on Earth is negative 9.81 meters per second or negative 22 feet per second squared. So it depends which way you want to use it. Force means like if you were, the amount of impacts on the head. It has a force of it coming down. It's being drawn towards the object. The larger the object being drawn towards the other, the more force that it'll take. So if you drop a feather off of a really tall building, that feather has a really small mass, so the force of when that feather hits the ground, it's not really harming anything, right? If you take a bowling ball off the same thing, it might make a little dent. Certainly if it hits somebody, it's going to change their day a little bit. Right? All right, so how are M and A being held together?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. What undoes multiplication?
Division.
Division. So I'm going to divide each side by M. This is going to cancel that, so I find that A is equal to force over mass. Problem number 4, P equals 2L plus 2W. That's how you find the perimeter of a rectangle. I'm sure you've seen that at least once in a previous class. I want W all by itself. So I have P, PL. Okay. I am not writing that fast for this to get stuck. Ready? What are we going to solve for?
W.
W. So P, and it's actually a 2L. I know it looks like a 21. You're absolutely right, though.
Oh,
Look at this. It's supposed to be an L. Of course, why do we use that L? I don't know. How are 2 and W being held together?
Multiplication.
All right. Cancel, so I get W is equal to P minus 2L divided by 2. Cool. So those are literal equations. You're just solving for the letter that they want to identify. You have to understand that letters are held together by add, subtract, multiply, and divide, distributive property, exponents, all kinds of goofy stuff. And of course, as a student, you're sitting there going, I guarantee I'll never use this ever again in my life. You're right. The thought process of you problem solving you will use. Why should I learn this if it's going to do it for me? It's not. Yeah, it'll do it for me. In fact, the car will drive me by itself. Okay? You do need to have a thought process. That's the foundation of it. Moving on. Think about it. Write down some equations you heard about. Use a bunch of letters. Do you know what they mean? Well, I have one over there on the board. That's this one. E stands for energy, equals M, which is mass. So that's the weight of mass. So 15 pounds, 35 kilograms, things like that. And then C. What does C stand for? Yeah. Yeah. So that's energy. the weight of mass. So like how much something weighs. Squared, you gotta understand that. That means I'm squaring whatever C is. No one knows what C stands for in this equation?
Calculation.
Calcium.
Speed
Of light.
of light.
Yes.
Wait, so how can C equal speed of light?
What's the homework?
That's what old Einstein said.
Why can't you just make it E equals MS squared?
I don't know, because that might have stood for some other variable in some calculation. Yeah,
What?
Do we have homework today?
we do.
What page is it?
The next page.
19? Is it sitting?
Yeah, it's 19 from
Not right there yet. Sorry. All right, so if I were to start breaking this down, if I wanted to solve for M, that would mean that M is equal to E divided by C squared. Now, what is energy? Does anyone know? Yeah.
Okay, so electricity, like something.
Okay, so you're using electricity for energy.
Right.
You want to know what energy stands for? Go ahead. Everything? Well, so this is what E stands for. If you wanted to figure out how much energy you yourself are right now. So we could do a couple things, but unfortunately you wouldn't last if we did it. But we could determine how much energy you have by incinerating you down and dividing by how much your ashes weigh. That's bad, so that wouldn't be good. Or we could take how much you weigh in pounds
180.
and multiply it by the speed of light squared, and that's how much energy all of the molecules in your body are. Pretty cool, huh?
That's okay. I'm gonna do that.
Speed of light, well, I can give you a quick reference. It's 93 million miles per 8 minutes. And the reason I know that is the sun's 93 million miles away roughly, and it takes 8 minutes to get here.
The flash can run 10 times.
All right, so for tomorrow, or for tonight is Wednesday, right? Okay. I would like you to work on page 19 and 20, please. Try it.
19 to 20.
No, there's a couple of things on there. 4 problems on there. So that's what that one's going to be. So energy equals speed of light. This is 348. Was this the last slide? Yeah. Ooh, don't forget. What is this? Don't forget. I don't know. I don't know what that's for. But that's our assignment right there. Everyone good? Everyone happy? All right.
You know what it is?